Do you want to know the secrets on how we blow up the sales pipeline for us and our clients?
In this video, we're going to show you our 4 pillars for our lead generation strategy.
What's up, guys? Kyle Milan here. It's Thursday, so I got Alex with me.
What's up, guys?
So here to talk about some industrial sales tips, tricks, and everything in between. For those of you that are new to the content, twice a month on Thursdays, we go live, talk about industrial sales. Every Tuesday, I go live, talk about industrial marketing. If you want to get more of this content, we give away all of our secrets on my YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. You'll find over 1,500 videos. Let's get into it. We're talking about, what are we talking about? Effective lead generation strategies for manufacturing sales teams. What does that even mean?
It means a lot. I mean, people don't understand that you need to have an actual strategy put into place for your sales team. You know, Kyle puts in a strategy for me to implement with our sales team. You got to make sure that, you're following that sales strategy, because if you're not, you're just going to be, running around in circles, not actually attaining goals, and making sure, your strategy is to make sure that you have tasks that you're trying to complete, goals that you want to meet, and ways that you're going to go about it. If you don't have at least those 3 things down, you're just going to be, pedaling in circles, not doing what you need to do in order to close those deals.
Exactly. So we were just at NPE a couple weeks ago. I mean, Alex, in your opinion, what percentage of the people that we saw at NPE, just knowing, getting your feet into that industry deeper and deeper, what percentage of people do you feel like are going without a strategy?
Oh, I'd say over 50%, just based off of just some of the conversations that I had with some of these sales guys, some of the sales engineers, even some of the marketing managers and the marketing directors that I bumped into at MPE. I'm asking them, what's your biggest problem? What's a solution, or not necessarily a solution, because I'm the one that's going to be trying to offer a solution, but what's something that you guys are really, that you think is hindering your marketing abilities, hindering your sales abilities? And they always say lead gen. And so I ask them, most of the time it's lead gen. I ask them, so what are you guys currently doing? Oh, well, we have our website up, we have X, Y, and Z, we're trying to, post once a week to LinkedIn to make sure we're out there. But, a lot of the times we're not even posting once a week. And Kyle and I both in our heads are going, how are you finding it hard to even just post once a week? If you guys don't hold yourselves accountable, if you don't have this strategy put into place as these are the things that we have to complete weekly, these are the things we have to complete monthly, and these are the things we have to complete quarterly in order to reach our goals, to reach the amount of clients that we want within the company, you have to have something in place. And a lot of the times, especially in industrial, it's a very kind of loosely, we're relying on marketing to somewhat do something for sales. And marketing is relying on sales to hopefully close those deals that maybe they brought in, but they don't know whether they're good or not, because you don't have a sales strategy put in place, or a marketing strategy put into place for that matter.
Yeah. So we thought it was a relevant topic. We talk about this a lot, right? And even when we talk to potential customers, current customers, like, what's the goal? Lead generation, generate leads, pass them over to the sales guys, qualify them, quote them, close them, right? Very simple process. So we put a couple of bullet points up on the board. Alex wrote them up there. So first one is identify. What do you want to talk about with identify?
You want to identify, if you guys are really going into a segment, you guys want to identify who your key decision maker is going to be, who that you need to hammer and get after, that's going to be your champion. We use that is going to be the person that, if you are able to form that relationship, is going to go into the company and fight for you to either to use your product, to use your service, or whatever you guys are trying to sell out there, making sure that you are identifying that person. Don't just go after, if you're a machine shop, depending on what you are, if you create the machines, if you're a CNC machinist, you guys know who you're trying to go after. You know who's going to actually be in the decision-making process. When I use the examples over here at MFG Tribe, I'm not trying to go after the HR person when I'm trying to convince somebody to take a look at our services, to take a look at the marketing service that we have to offer. I'm going to go after the marketing manager. I'm going to go after, if I can't get a hold of the marketing manager, maybe one of the marketing specialists that I know is, maybe in the marketing manager's ears. And if it's a small enough company, I'm going to go after, the VP of marketing, the VP of sales, the director of marketing, director of sales, because I know they're going to be the ones that are going to be hands-on with decisions like this. When you get into bigger companies, you're going to have a lot different process that you're going to go after when it comes to trying to get to that potential client or get to that champion. So really identifying and making sure that you guys really know who you're going after, and you're not just going to go after it so you can rifle focus, so you're not just shotgun shotting it. You want to make sure that when you are going out and interacting with these people, that you know the people that you are interacting with are going to be the people that are going to eventually lead to that sale going down the road. And it doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily, if you can't get into the VP and you can't get into the manager, start making relationships with the people again that are in their ears, that are in meetings with them, because if they're working for a good leader, they will listen to them. And that's a really key point.
Yeah. So oftentimes you guys are going after that decision maker. What Alex is talking about is like, you got to get into that circle of influence. Mm-hmm. So instead of just going after VP of engineering, VP of commodity management or supply chain, go after the buyers, the purchases, new product development engineers, design engineers, everybody, because it won't hurt you to know everybody in that department. Because like Alex said, those guys are in meetings, they're talking, and your name could get brought up as a possible solution if you form that relationship. And too often you industrial sales guys are like, I only want to talk to the decision maker because I don't want to do all the follow-up and all the networking and stuff that's going to take it to get there. I mean, I said it's a majority of the guys out there and girls out there are just a little bit lazy and complacent when it comes to hustling for those people. But you've got the decision maker in the middle, and then the circle around are all the people that work with them, plus, like Alex is saying, other departments too, right? Engineering is having meetings with ops and with commodity management, purchasing, et cetera. So as long as you're going after those job functions, just roll them up into a job function. As long as you're going after those job functions, looking at all the different areas of C-suite, VP level managers, but also some of those key entry positions. Some kid may be in a meeting, some new design engineer, something like that, be like, you know who I really like, guys, is I like this guy that works at this company that keeps on hounding me on LinkedIn. And he's talking about a lot of stuff that, like, we're dealing with these issues. We should reach out to him. That's how a lot of conversations can start. So how are you going to go about finding those people, or even companies for that matter, right? Identifying the companies. Who are you going after? What's their size? And don't do revenue, do employee count size. What's their size, their industry, their geographic location, etc. Alex, how would you start by trying to figure out, like, who the heck am I going after?
Well, I mean, if you guys already have some clients, reverse engineer some of the clients that you have. If you are coming in and you have a book of clients that you guys know, these are the ones, these are our core clients, these are the ones that utilize our services, utilize our products, are consistently coming back, reverse engineer some of them. Or make sure that you're going in there and going, who is similar to this company, whether that be their size, whether that be how they are operating. And, some of the discovery calls that I get, they're even, coming and asking me what kind of leadership do we have? We use the EOS system. It's EOS, right? That's technically what it is. We use EOS. What kind of management system are you guys using? Finding similar things with those companies, because this company utilizes our product and our services and utilizes it frequently. If I can find people that are similar, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the exact same industry. If you can, when I say industry, the same vertical, if you can offer a product or service to somebody else that's not necessarily offering the exact same product or service, go for it. But they have a same leadership style. They have the same company lifestyle. They're in the same geography. There are so many different things that you can realistically look at and reverse engineer. And it can also go all the way back to even, if you guys want to, we don't work with competitors. When I say that, if we hire a machine shop in a certain vertical, we're not going to work with our direct competitor, but you guys can go out there, work with their competitors, work with, what they're doing, look at what they're specifically doing, making sure that you can offer them that product or service and help them out as well.
Yeah. I mean, to that point, there's a lot of, I see this mostly in the machining world, right? Like CNC machine shops, like, you have competitors, and it's like when they're busy and they have to offload some stuff, you're there to help them out. And it's a lot friendlier of a community than some other industries I've been in, where owners of different CNC machine shops will take their workload that's too high for them and give them to one of their competitors to say, hey, look, I got to get this done for my client. Do you want to make some money on it? Make the parts for me, etc. And it creates like more of a network. Like, we're all going in the same direction, right? There's plenty of work to go around. We do things a little bit different. We don't work with our competitors. We don't white label services or anything like that, because I want to keep everything, all the control in the walls of this business. But yeah, I mean, that's a great point, that you have a lot of options available. Reverse engineer your current customers to find other companies that are competitors to them and also similar type of variables. So what is the company size of your current customers that you like? So take a look at your current customers and say, out of these 100, these 20 are really our ideal customer profile, which that's a process you can go through to create that. And the criteria to be an ideal customer is they're going to hit these things: size, location, industry, payment terms, etc. So build that out and then go and find people that meet that criteria. And if we had to make a list right now, I know Seamless AI and Zoom Info, two systems that we have subscriptions for. We use those often, but for those that don't have those in industrial, Alex, what system do you think that they should
Sales
use?
Nav.
Yeah.
I would say Sales Nav is probably your biggest friend when it comes to something like that. If you don't have the necessarily the funds to go out there and buy a huge Zoom Info license, having Sales Nav is really helpful. Kyle and I and my sales team and Kyle's sales team and I, we really go in on the Sales Nav, and we look at what technology they use, whether it be HubSpot for the CRM, what technologies they use, what industry they're in, again, what's their size. You can utilize all those filters in Sales Nav. Sales Nav, honestly, I think has almost as much, if not more, filters than Zoom Info, because you can get a little bit more. You can get a little bit more rifle focused on who you guys are going after. And then guess what? You find that person on Sales Nav. You have a LinkedIn page. You can friend request them there. You can message them right there. It becomes really easy, really simple. Send them a resource, just send them an intro. Just try and connect with them to initially form that relationship. But Sales Nav.
Yeah. And so I'm putting these notes while Alex is talking, I'm putting them into the comment section so that way you guys can have them there. One thing I'll add is as a bonus tip, and I'll put a comment in there, is that if you guys want to know how to build out these custom sales navigator lists and then use some LinkedIn automation tools, put I want to automate in the comment section. I'll put a comment in there and I will send you a link to a webinar that we did probably 2 months ago, an hour and 10, 15 minutes of me walking through with screen sharing how to build out sales navigator lists, filter it down from accounts to people, build these lists and pull them into a third party automation tool that we've been using for the last 7 years that really helps you stay on top of everything, and it will generate revenue for you. So I'll put that tip in there. And if you guys want to take a look at that webinar, put I want to automate, and we'll throw it in there for you. When you're going through the sales navigator list, like Alex said, Zoom Info, Seamless AI, all of the list builders, those two really are the top. They have some good filtering criteria, but with Sales Nav, you've got whether or not they're connected with you, second degree, third degree connection. You also got how active are they on LinkedIn? Are they active on LinkedIn in the last 30 days? You can use that toggle and turn it on to know, like, hey, this person's active in the last 30 days. I bet you I can get their attention on this platform instead of then emailing them or picking up the phone and calling them. I bet you I can get their attention there. And you wouldn't know that. You do this search that he's talking about, and you get this list of, like, let's say it's 146,000 people with engineering, ops, purchasing, whatever function you're going after, and you're like, where do I even start? Well, I'm going to go after managers first, decision makers. But even still, it gets it down to maybe like 50,000. Using that active on LinkedIn or recently posted on LinkedIn, that toggle will cut it down by 90%. And those are the people you can go after on LinkedIn and get attention from. What other tool to identify do you feel like, is there another one that they could use?
I mean, Google, when I say Google,
Yeah.
doing your research on some of these clients. I sometimes, just for example, sometimes when I'm coming in, I'm trying to look, I look for competitors. I look for similar, when I say competitors, I look for people in similar industries. I look for people that work with a company potentially. I look for people that work with a company that we already work with. Because we're in the same industry, because they're going to be utilizing the same strategies and all that kind of stuff. They could use our marketing services. Find people that work with your companies, because if they already meet your criteria as a good client, going in there, doing the research, finding out, even asking your clients, hey, if you found somebody that they utilize each other's services, seeing if you can't get them to connect you. Asking, it's better to ask than not to, just to sit there and be like, okay, I'm not going to ask because I don't want to make myself look stupid or anything like that. Ask. I promise you'll get yeses more than you'll get nos, especially when it comes to introducing somebody and forming a relationship. If you're doing a good job for one person, they're going to want you to do a good job for another. They really don't care. I promise you, most people don't. They love to show. Everybody does. I mean, if I have something that works really well, I'm going to share it with everybody. If I have some form of outbound that I find randomly that utilizes, that really works for us, I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm not going to sit there and keep it to myself, because it's fun to share things that work well with everybody and that that work well, because everybody's going to look at you again as a thought leader and is going to respect you and be like, they helped me out.
Exactly. All right. Point number 2 we got up on the board is leverage. What are we talking about there, Alex?
How you guys are going to be leveraging your digital marketing tools, whether that be social, whether that be however you guys are, whatever marketing tools that you guys are using, whatever digital tools you guys are using, making sure that you're leveraging them the way that they are meant to be leveraged. If you're going to be on social media, not just posting 1 or 2 times a month, making sure you're consistent on there. If you guys are going to be using a CRM or email marketing, making sure that when you're using those services, those digital marketing tools, that you are consistent. You're not just sending out a sequence for 2 weeks and then, forgetting about it for 3 months and then trying to send out another one. Staying consistent consistency is key. Kyle will always tell you, he tells it to me. I'm a sales guy. I know, sometimes my consistency levels, I try and keep them as high as I can, but we know that, sometimes a little bit of stay consistent. Even when you wake up, when you wake up in the morning, just going to work is your first step into staying consistent. And then making sure when you do show up to work that you are utilizing these digital tools and not making, well, this week I'm tired, I'm not going to utilize them to the max capability. You're going to feel that pain. And Kyle is one of the ones, when we go into sales meetings, always will look back and make sure, what have we been doing? Have we been staying consistent? Has all the sales team been doing what they're supposed to be doing consistently? And if they're not, 99% of the time we can track, this week we didn't reach the goals that we were supposed to be doing, and look at what we're doing 5 or 6 weeks later. We're feeling the pain. But the sales team now knows, because of how Kyle and I have told them consistency is key. We've been very consistent here for a good period of time, which is why MFG Tribe is growing. And they're understanding that consistency, as long as I stay consistent, leads will come in. Even if they're going to leave the funnel here for a little bit, staying consistent on the touchback with them, they will come back.
Yeah, really, you guys gotta leverage the tools that you have. And you guys may not have the best tools out there because your company is not as forward thinking with sales tool technology and marketing tool technology like we are. We're on the cutting edge of, we look at everything new that gets created to see if it's worth its weight to bring into our sales process. But utilize what you do have. And you, as an industrial salesperson, you have tools like social media, right? You already have that. In my opinion, and back when I was doing what you guys do, I would pay for this myself every day of the week. But getting a premium, just getting Sales Navigator gives you LinkedIn Premium, so you can see all of the data behind impressions and how many people viewed your profile and who was it, etc. But I would get Sales Navigator, $79-$99 a month. I would pay for that myself if I had to, and then I would get an automation tool to help me and assist me with growing my network and engaging with people. But that's out there just for you. You don't have to wait for your company to purchase a license for you. If you're looking to grow your own personal income, sometimes you got to do things that are, and I've met numerous salespeople that'll do this, is that they will pay for that tool by themselves if their company is just like, it's not in the budget. Even some people that we've talked to about helping out with lead gen, the sales guys like, yeah, some of them are like, yeah, no, I know that my team needs that, I'm going to pay it. Whereas other guys are like, talk to the salesperson like, oh no, I actually pay for all that stuff myself. I got $500 a month of subscriptions because my company won't pay. So number one is going to be the social side of it and using LinkedIn. Number two, if you guys do have a CRM system, using email to its fullest capability, ideally with a marketing agency like MFG Tribe, so we can do all the heavy lifting for you. But if you guys do it internally, you got to have, like Alex said, consistent plan of follow-up touch points. Nobody gets left behind. Nobody gets forgotten about. And then also look at trade shows. Like, how are you going to leverage trade shows? We just filmed a course yesterday on trade shows for Industrial Sales University. And in that trade show, I talked about, like, even if you can't go to a show and exhibit, just go walk it.
Yeah.
Like, we've walked, 5 shows in the past 9 months?
6 to 9 months.
And even if we weren't there to try and get potential leads from it, just being there, networking with people, making friends, having conversations, not even like walking up to people saying like, will you buy this from me? Or do you need my service? Even having conversation with people in aisleway and participating in the event, and then going to the hotel, restaurant, and bar afterwards and talking to people there, like, it's worth it a lot of times if you guys are not exhibiting at a show to just go and walk it. That's at your disposal. You can go to your boss and say, hey, I want to go to the show. It's a $400 plane ride, 2 nights in a hotel. I can be in and out in 3 days for $1,000, $1,200. A lot of times the manager should approve that. because at your bigger companies they would have that budget. But go and walk in. As long as you work it, you can walk it again.
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot of cool things when you're walking around the show too. Funnily enough, when we were just talking about LinkedIn here, it reminded me of that story of that guy that we came across that didn't know what LinkedIn was.
Oh yeah, that was do we get that on footage, Riley?
I think we have it somewhere.
Yeah, so we'd have to probably blur out the face, but we're talking to a guy, and we're just doing what we normally do at trade shows, which is just we're just interested in what is this they're doing. So like, where are you from? What do you do here? Like, what is this technology? If we're not too familiar with it, and talking to the guy, and we're talking about marketing, and I was like, oh well, you're on LinkedIn too, right? And he literally said he had to have been in his mid 20s. He goes, what's LinkedIn? And I was like, what?
Cal thought he was joking.
I was like,
he goes, oh, you're joking.
Yeah, I'm like, you're joking, man. He goes, no, I've never heard of LinkedIn before. And I said, what about Facebook? He goes, well, yeah, I know Facebook. And I'm like, how the heck could you know Facebook and not LinkedIn when you're in business? Now, his location was in the way outskirts of a bigger town. So he was out in the boonies. But still, like, have you just been living under a rock? You don't know what LinkedIn is? I thought that was crazy.
And everybody, I would bring that up an example just because it was at that point of everybody utilizes LinkedIn, and meeting somebody that didn't know, especially in the industry, what LinkedIn was very, eye-opening on the point of everybody uses it. That's why it was so shocking. Everybody in the industry uses it. Everybody knows, and the people that aren't utilizing it, and there are some people, I guess, out there that don't even know what LinkedIn is. And if you're not utilizing LinkedIn, you are behind, especially in this industry.
Yeah, and what he means by utilize is not do what a lot of you guys do, which is like go in there once in a while and just like and comment. But I mean, like Alex has taken his network from, he was probably at, I don't know, what, 400?
Less than that. I was probably at like 120 or
Were
200.
Really?
Yeah, I never used LinkedIn.
Yeah,
because I was in government. I never had to use LinkedIn.
So 120, 130 a year and a half ago, maybe probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now you're at 3,500 people. And it's all been through hustle and grinding. And the key is he's at 3,500 people he's connected with that are within the niche that we can help.
Mm-hmm.
If he connected with every single person that sent him a connection request, and myself the same, and Mason Palmer and anybody else here, we would have tens of thousands of people, but they're not relevant. So when we post something if Alex posts a video or a long form post or a picture, and he gets 2 comments from people that are within industrial, that means 10 times more than 100 comments from a bunch of like real estate people from New York or some people from overseas that have nothing to do with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the issue, is that there's companies out there, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but there's companies out there that focus on like just that like number and comment number
and impression number.
They don't care where it comes from as long as they're getting it. They're like, dude, I'm the top voice. But if that's not resulting in attention and then money, what are you even doing it for?
Yeah.
Like the dopamine drip, like who cares? We wouldn't be as active on LinkedIn if it wasn't making us money.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the bottom line. We wouldn't be making these videos if we weren't having people respond and say, this helped me a lot. I implement, like we're at MPE, and what happened with that one guy, what was his name? Jeremy?
Yeah, it was or Jeremy or Andrew.
Oh, Andrew at MPE.
Yeah.
So like they're walking around and he saw the logo or something like that?
Yeah, no, he saw me and Mason walking around and had recognized, I think it was either me or Mason, he recognized us in one of the posts that we had made and came up and had not necessarily messaged me or messaged Kyle or anything like that, but had been utilizing everything that we had been talking about. And then when he met Kyle, and introduced him or Kyle to his marketing manager, the marketing manager was utilizing a lot of the things that Kyle was teaching throughout the year, not just recently. They've apparently been following us since.
Well, he said since I used to do the videos in the car, which that's going back to like 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
This guy's seen videos from 7 years ago, never messaged me, never commented that I can remember, never liked anything, but he's getting enough value to keep watching. So we're looking for that, provide value, number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, if we can get business from it, that just makes it well worth it. So going into it with that mindset of I want to connect with people to help them and not just connect with people to just connect with anybody or try and sell them.
I'd rather have 2 likes from somebody that is in the industry and that actually, could potentially utilize our services than, as Kyle said, 1,000 likes from random people. Because if I know that even if I just helped out of the 3,500 people that I have on my LinkedIn, if I can help 2 of you guys out, that's a win for me. Yeah. If I can sit there and go, I can help 2 of you out, whether it be with your marketing, whether it be with your sales, lead gen, whatever we can do, or just some of the information that I'm getting out there to you guys, that's a win for me. That should be a win for you guys too, because people are then going to think of you as a thought leader. I've learned so much working with Kyle, working in MFG, going to trade shows, doing all this kind of stuff, that I want to be able to share that with the younger generation. I can help the older generation too, just like the older generation can help me out, and the younger generation. You can always help each other out, no matter your age, no matter your gender, no matter where you come from, what your background is. You can learn and you can help. Sometimes I feel like, that, if everybody thought a little bit more like industrial, I think the world would be a little bit better of a place, honestly. That's just me getting on my soapbox there.
Yeah. All right. Number 3. What's number 3?
Optimize.
What does that mean?
You got to optimize your process. You got to make sure that you are utilizing the tools, especially with the technology that's coming around nowadays, making sure that you're utilizing some of these tools that make your life easier, that take, the monotony out of some of the tasks that you guys are doing on a day-to-day basis and giving you back some more time. There are books on it. Kyle's read books on it, buying back your time, getting back your time. He's our CEO. He's our leader. He needs to make sure that he is optimizing the people that work for him. So make sure that you're optimizing the tools that you are using, the people that work for you, making sure that you're optimizing all of your processes, making sure that the little things that might take, 3 or 4 extra hours a week, if you have a process or a tool that can make this 3 or 4 hours disappear and complete it at the same quality but faster, why not do it? Why wouldn't you want to have some more time to go and find more leads? Why wouldn't you want to have some more time to do those follow-ups besides just doing the monotonous tasks? Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you got to have a process that's established, smooth, people can follow. It's just regimented. We've got our processes here. You can say checklists, but you got to have it laid out to where it's like once you do this, then you do that, and as these things happen, you don't want to make it, to where anybody can do it. And you don't want to lay out everything. People need, like, for follow with this person. You don't need to say follow up in this way, this cadence, this tone, etc. Allow the salespeople to follow up in their own method, but just saying, hey, follow up here, or you need to call this person this way, or something like that. Having the process established, that's how you're going to get that consistency. And like Alex was saying in the first point, you need to have that steadiness and consistency with the efforts. Otherwise, your pipeline is going to fill up. So with the process, look for tools that can help you optimize that. What are some AI tools out there, automation tools out there? That's where LinkedIn automation tool frees up your time from doing those monotonous tasks to allow you to focus more on having good conversations, pitching your stuff, getting RFQs, pricing things out, following up with deals, etc. That's really the way to do it, is always be open to ways to make the process more efficient and better.
And utilizing somebody like us over here at MFG Tribe, if you guys don't necessarily have the bandwidth to have somebody that's going to be able to automate it, we have a full automation department that does it for us, but finding somebody that can help you automate, because your sales team, we always know, sales guys, we go after the lowest hanging fruit. And as the fruit keeps coming lower and other fruits tend to fall off, we tend to let those fall into the cracks. We tend to forget about those, making sure that you are holding your sales guys accountable, because you need to make sure that your sales funnel are optimized as well. You can't have a sales funnel that is full of leads that aren't actually leads. When Kyle goes into I will tell you this, one of the good things that we are, besides most of the things that we are good at, is one of the things that Kyle has really driven is making sure that our sales funnel is clean, making sure that they are in the right areas that they need to be, whether that be a nurture, whether that be a closed loss deal, whether that be a win back deal, whether that be a lost deal, whether that be a win, whether that be hot, whatever it needs to be, making sure that you're also optimizing your sales funnel, because that is going to be when you come in the morning and you are doing follow-ups. If you can log into your sales funnel and see and know where everything is, things are not going to fall through the crack. And that's going to save you time in and of itself. because you're not going to be going like, wait a minute, who was that I need to follow up with? What is this? When was the last time I followed up with this person? If you have done what you're supposed to do in your sales funnel, it'll all be easier. And I promise you'll get more deals because you'll be touching and following up with the people that you need to with the correct information, offering them the resources, and not looking like you're just trying to get money from them, that you're actually trying to offer them something that can help them.
Yeah, it's all about solving problems instead of selling sheets.
Yes.
All right, number 4, utilize.
Utilize your CRM system. I don't know how much more you and I can bash this into people, is utilizing your CRM system.
And the right CRM system, right?
And the right CRM system. Making sure that you as sales guys are I know you hate hearing your sales managers. I promise you, those sales guys that will get promoted and will eventually move into that sales manager position, which I hope is all of you that want to do that. When you move in that sales manager position, you are going to realize that as a sales manager, as a leader, as a salesperson, making sure that your notes are in there, making sure that your meeting links are in there, making sure that things, bullet points, anything that you have discussed, that you have taken notes on, making sure that they are in your CRM system, that they are uploaded into there. Because I promise you, Kyle will tell you, it's one of the things, he has a very strange memory when it comes to things, but I have to go in and I need to look at my notes and make sure.
Strange in a good way.
Yes. He remembers things that, about conversations that I've had about clients that he hasn't even met yet, that he hasn't even had to come in and meet yet. And he's like, oh, what about, and I have to go in and do my notes. There are different levels. Even if you have his brain, making sure that you have those notes in there, because if that deal gets kicked down the road for 6 months, when you're going to go and do the follow-up, you're not going to remember what your last conversation was. And guess what? You're going to be doing some generic follow-up that they're not going to be super thrilled about. But if you have your notes in there and you're reaching out to Lara over here, Lara loves to hula hoop and she does it with fire. So I'm going to relate to her and I'm going to be like, hey, Lara, how's your fire hula hoop going? Because that scares me, what she does over here. I don't know how she doesn't set her hair on fire.
This is where I wish that, do we have footage of Lara?
Oh, she's got footage. I've seen it. It's pretty legendary.
So this is what we're going to do. Riley, try and get a hold of that footage. Go to her Instagram, download that shit.
It's going right here now. We're blowing it up.
And then when we say things, be like, Lara likes to hula hoop with fire. And then Riley's going to be like, hang on a minute. Boom. Video right next to Alex's head of Lara hula hooping with fire.
Exactly. Making sure that you are, again, reaching out like that. That got a smile out of her. I promise you, if you reached out to somebody that you have had a conversation with in the past, obviously I'm hoping that you guys have reached out and touched them before the 6-month point, but that you are actually going out there and utilizing that CRM, utilizing the notes that you've taken, making sure that you are relating back to some of the questions, some of the problems that they had. Maybe that they've told you they like fishing, golfing, whatever they like to do, touch back on that. So you don't come across as the needy sales guy that's just like, hey, following up, it's been 6 months. Have you made a decision to come with us yet? Ask them a question, get the conversation flowing. And guess what? They know really what you're there for. They know that you're here to check back up on them. And they're more likely to give you the answers that you need.
And if you guys want to work with an agency that knows all the CRM systems, that's us at MFG Tribe. We've got the team for it, whether it is HubSpot, Zoho, Sugar, Apollo, Salesforce, Pardot, Marketo. What else? What's something new that we recently? Anything related to ecom. We're experts in Klaviyo. Pretty much any automation system out there we've touched. Unfortunately, because
you forgot Salesforce.
No, I said Salesforce.
Did you say Salesforce?
Yeah, Salesforce.
You forgot the biggest
one. Unfortunately for us, because we serve a wide range of industrial verticals and a wide range of people's budgets, regardless of size, it could be a $10 million a year company that spends $500,000 a year on marketing, or it could be $1 billion a year company that's like, no, we don't really use a CRM system, and everything in between. We get into a lot of stuff. Now, the preferred choice is HubSpot. If you guys are thinking about HubSpot or already using HubSpot and like, you know what, it's not working for us, or I don't have it optimized, just reach out to us. We can get in there, be your admin, set yourself up, get all your processes in place, customize it, and then even use the system for you and do all your marketing out of it if you want to. But pick a system. That's the point there, is you got to have everything organized to be able to utilize your resources efficiently and effectively. You have to have the stuff organized. Your sales process is going to go into your CRM, all of your follow-up tasks, etc. One centralized location. Salesforce is great. It's more of an enterprise solution. But if you guys are on the Salesforce boat and drinking that Kool-Aid, then that's fine. It integrates with HubSpot and HubSpot is way better than Par.org Marketo. Everybody's busy on this Thursday. You're out there grinding and hustling, so be sure to comment if you're watching on the replay. If you guys want more of this content, head over to YouTube, hit subscribe, turn on notifications. We will see you on the next one.
Have a good one, guys.